Well, good afternoon, traders. Today is Friday, June 16th, approximately 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in this video, what I want to do is go over a few of the altcoins, and we'll touch on a few requested altcoins as well. Some of you have requested analysis. I don't know that I see all the comments, guys. I don't go to all my social media sites. I let the robots post to those social media sites. I don't always read all the comments, and I apologize for missing your comment if you requested something in particular. The easiest way to make sure that I see it is by heading to my website at studam.us and posting a comment. There's my website, and posting a comment under whatever particular post. I do read all of those on my website. All right, but I don't go around to each of my social. Like I haven't logged into Rumble in probably a year. So if you're making comments there, I apologize. I'm not seeing them. There's a slew of social media websites that I am not monitoring for comment activity. I just don't have time at this point to do that. So if you want to make sure that your request does get seen, please head over to my website and post your request there. Something else I want to mention before we move on to do this analysis, this update here. Don't forget you can follow all of my trades, of course, at my website. That's the best place. But I do have a drops tab. Unfortunately, with that public facing portfolio, I can only trade crypto. I can only go long. I can't trade leverage. I can't do stocks. So it's very limiting. Nevertheless, we're still going to try to at least make $10,000 turn into $100,000 in 5 years. My goal, of course, is a little bit high, maybe of an expectation for being so limited in what I can trade, but I know it's possible to turn $10,000 into $1 million in a solid bull market. We're not there yet. I've only opened this in a bear market, and we've been in a bear market for about a year. We're still making money, but not, just barely, to be honest with you. All right, so those are my two items of housekeeping. Now let's move on with analysis. And before I do so, I want to put out another warning here, guys, with the SEC suing Coinbase and Binance and targeting many altcoins. It is very, very risky to trade altcoins at this point, as you know. And I would really, if you're going to trade altcoins, stick to the larger cap altcoins, stick to the altcoins that have specific use case and functionality, and preferably at this point, proof of work if you can. I know they didn't target Ethereum, whatever the reason there, maybe monetary bribes, because that's just the way we seem to operate as of late. But that is a smart contract blockchain, and there is use case and functionality there. But essentially, as well, I know like Sailor has proclaimed all altcoins are securities except for Bitcoin. Of course, he's a Bitcoin maximalist, and so he has bias. But anyways, I wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way. Very dangerous here to trade altcoins. Nevertheless, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you what I see. There is potential for another big drop in the altcoin space, guys. Bitcoin is doing well, surprisingly well. But it has tagged my neckline. That neckline has held up, and one never knows the turn that crypto is going to take in a bear market. We're just doing our best to identify the probabilities, possibilities, and direction at this point. All right, but nothing is ever for sure. All right, without further ado, let us dive right in here. Where is my... There we go. All right, and I've got a zoom here, a zoom function. I'm going to go ahead and utilize that right now because we're not necessarily looking at the RSI, although maybe we should very quickly before I zoom in. All right, so you see I have the fact that we broke out of the blue channel, and now we're on top of this. We've broken out of this red trend line as well. All right, now I had circled down here a potential touch if we did drop further of this long trending ascending black trend line on the RSI, which comes from a year ago, last June. All right, so there is potential that we drop down and tag that again. All right, so beware, guys. Even though I'm going to zoom in here on my chart, and I'm going to get rid of the RSI. There we go. Oops. Still getting these hotkeys down, guys. Bear with me. All right, so even though we tagged exactly, so now I can draw another circle where we touched my neckline at 25,300, held. All right, that is we broke below it barely, but again we did not confirm with another candle open and close below that 25.3. So I can put another arrow here to show another tag of that particular area. And give me 1 second here because it bothers me that that circle looks a little bit different. OCD kicking in once again. All right, so you can see that Bitcoin dropped down, tagged my neckline precisely, went back into this descending triangle, which is also a handle. Remember in yesterday's video, I showed you how this is a handle pattern from a larger cup and handle pattern. And if we break to the top side of this ascending descending triangle, that means the bulls are going to test the waters at 30,500 once again. They're going to do battle with that, and if we beat that, we're on our way. If we don't, M pattern formation, and the potential lies ahead that we drop back down to 20,000 and fill that gap. So 30,500 is a good target if you're going long on Bitcoin. Moving on, let's just look at the dollar today, and you can see that the dollar has gone back above the 102 support. All right, so this gives the market pause. There is uncertainty. If we close above that 102, a dollar may use that as support and move back up again, or at least go sideways. I would anticipate more sideways action. Eventually, we should fall and reach the neckline chart target on this larger head and shoulders pattern. As I've said many times, once we fall below that, it's bye-bye US dollar, and everything should explode. Now moving on to the VIX. All right, VIX making new lows. This is incredible, guys. With the VIX down and the dollar declining, it's a good sign for the broader markets. As I've said many times, dollar down, VIX down, generally stocks up. What follows stocks? Bitcoin. What follows Bitcoin? Major alts, high capital alts. And then after that, we have the smaller cap alts. So let's just test that theory right now and take a look at US 500, which is the market which tracks the S&P 500, and that is what we have been utilizing to follow the stock market trends. You can see we broke out of this channel. Both of these channels broke to the top side and broke above this 4,400 support. Closed today above that. Now that is confirmation that the bull move should continue. Although, could be a shakeout, guys, because take a look at this RSI. Let's zoom back out here so you can see that. We are still in very overbought territory. This could be signaling that a sell-off is imminent. I don't know. It's contradictory indicators here. So we broke out of 2 channels and broke above a big level of resistance, but that takes us into highly overbought territory on our RSI. Okay, almost to the altcoin analysis. First, I want to jump to the Bitcoin dominance chart and show you what happened here. See this head and shoulders pattern? Guys, 85% of the time those things do fulfill. All right, in this case, we had a swift reversal. And when head and shoulders patterns fail, they fail big. And this is what happened with Bitcoin dominance. All right, it failed. This head and shoulders pattern failed big. Therefore, altcoin madness, altcoin season has been postponed, according to this chart at least. Now I want to zoom out a little bit and show you where we could go before the dominance starts to fall again, and see this purple trend line. Actually, let me zoom back in here. This purple trend line comes all the way back from this head and shoulders pattern, which did play out, and that was in October of 2020. All right, so we have been following patterns on the dominance chart for quite some time, and they have all played out except for this head and shoulders. But this neckline here will prove to be resistance coming up here shortly on the Bitcoin dominance chart. All right, now I'm going to cruise through some of the altcoins that lead the market. Of course, Ethereum over BTC is showing us we broke out of this bullish triangle. Thought we were going to continue our move up. Then the SEC lawsuit happened. All right, back into the triangle. And you can see the inverse of this happening on many of the altcoins as we go through this. But this is showing us that alts are now showing us weakness again. All right, total 2, same thing. I expected this touch of the 200-day moving average. I did not expect us to fall below, but of course that SEC lawsuit has helped us out tremendously. Now, to be quite honest, I'm not even sure that this Adam and Eve pattern, which is very bullish, is going to play out. All right, and Ethereum is kind of showing us the same thing. It came below the expected neckline retest. All right, now today it is moving back up to that neckline, but I have a feeling that's going to act as resistance, and this inverse head and shoulders pattern will not play out. And remember, when I say these head and shoulders patterns, when they fail big. So I can expect to see, should this neckline prove to be resistance, I can expect us to see us come down to this red trend line on Ethereum all the way down to about 1450, 1500. That is something to watch for and a potential reason to sell here. Okay, so somebody asked me what LTC looked like, Litecoin. All right, so Litecoin fell under this bullish triangle. All right, and this is what we're going to see a lot of on the altcoin space. We are forming a bear flag. I want to draw this out. And once we fell, now we bounced off of that level, came back up. We're going to touch the underside of this triangle, and I expect more downside for Litecoin. All right, so I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you guys, but I want you to see what is taking place and what could be, I'm not saying this is going to happen, what could be a potential for the alts. All right, it looks like there's another leg down we may experience. I'm not sure that this is the case with XRP. As you guys know, I went long I posted that trade alert several days ago. We are in our target area. This is a perfect place to buy if you believe the XRP ruling is going to be positive. I am one of those that do believe that. And in fact, if it is positive, we come back up to the neckline, break the neckline, and we can head up to my target here of 66 cents. But XRP will be huge news for the altcoin space as well. So keep this in mind and keep focused on what happens with Ripple. What happens with Ripple may follow suit with the rest of the altcoins. Okay, people are also curious a bit about Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash in this triangle. Actually, I had the triangle up here. The bottom line was that blue line, and then I just drew it bigger. But that's, I don't know about that, guys. I mean, I'm not sure that's actually a legitimate triangle. I would say that it was probably better off up there at the blue trend line, and we fell below that. And actually, I'm going to redraw it to the way I had it. And look at this, guys. We are testing our head, knocking our heads against the bottom of that triangle. And again, this is a bear flag. Looks like we're going to come back down again to possibly $96. Watch that closely. Another leg down. This is going to be a repeating pattern that you hear me talk about in this video. Okay, I'll do a couple more, cruise through a couple more, then I'm going to do a few requested. Again, touch this neckline, but this looks to be a bear flag. Looks like we're going to test the neckline once again. And I am in this trade. Hopefully I don't get stopped out before we hit that neckline again. Once we hit that neckline a second time, I can see Solana moving up. I don't expect us to break back below that neckline, but if it does, time to get out, guys. It's trouble. All right, with the remaining 3 minutes, I'll do some user requested alts because these guys are looking all the same. Actually, I just noticed I only have 2 that I haven't covered yet in the requested analysis. First one is SHIB. All right. This is not looking good, guys. This is the lowest level of support I have, and we've broken below it. Looks like we're heading to the graveyard on this one, to be honest with you. I mean, this right here is a classic bear flag. Once again, we're hitting our heads on that level of previous support, now resistance, and honestly, it looks like SHIB could get buried here. I'm not going to say anything more than that. There's nothing I can do in terms of technical analysis here outside of that because we're below our lowest line of support at this point. Okay, somebody requested Luxco. I honestly don't know what this is, guys, but RSI, I'm going to zoom back out. We are in oversold territory. That doesn't mean much because almost all the altcoins are in oversold territory. I mean, if I was going to do some charting on the fly here, boy, give me a second. I'm going to pause the video because we don't have much time and draw some trend lines here, and then I'll talk through them. All right, so 2 important trend lines here. First one is the bottom one, comes from June of last year. All right, that is what we are sitting on right now. Can expect a bounce. I would say we'll go at least to the 200-day, maybe to the 50-day moving average. Top one here comes from February of 22. All right, so the other thing I'm seeing very quickly, and I know you guys are seeing this as well because you guys have followed me for so long, is some kind of a potential head and shoulders pattern. That is a very bad sign. Now we get a little bounce here, so if you want to trade this on the upside, that's fine. Highly risky, but it looks like we are in the process of forming a right shoulder on a head and shoulders pattern, and you know what happens after that. All right, so only a short-term trade here, maybe a bounce to the 200-day moving average is where I'd put my target, and that sits at $9.37. And with that, that is all I have time for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, found it useful, and if so, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. I hate saying that every time. It's redundant, but that helps promote this video. And any user requested analysis, please go to my website. Peace, y'all.